If you saw part 1 of this build, we grenaded this T15 3-speed from running way too much horsepower. We sold this thing on Craigslist, and then we bought this sweet Craigslist find T18. Already has a Jeep Dana 20 adapter on it. This is a Ford T18. We are going to bolt a Chevy V8 right to this thing without an adapter. We'll see how it goes. The struggle continues. Okay, welcome to round 30, 35, 40, I don't know. I quit counting. But welcome back to the open heart surgery of the green turd, broken 3-speed to T18 swap. Today we are going to be on our backs measuring for most of the day. These are my least favorite days to be working on stuff. I hate measuring, I hate being exact, I hate math. I'll probably measure wrong anyway. What we got to do, we've measured the bell housing thickness. So our bell housing is 6 1/4 inches thick. So this dude is 6 1/4. So what we got to do now that we know how thick this is, we got to measure this dude and then measure this tip. And what we need to figure out is, when this is bolted to the motor, how far is this going to stick inside our pilot hole? Is it going to bottom out before it's all the way in? Is it going to go halfway? It's going to go 3/4. We have to at least get 3/4 of the way in for it to be safe. So I don't know if we need to cut this or get a longer pilot because it's too short. I don't know. We're going to find out right now. So let the all-day measuring begin. So when we go to measure our bell housing, I don't even think that's level, but we got about, what would that be? An 1/8 of an inch of a gap, I think. Let's measure again. 1/8 of an inch of a gap. So take our tape measure. So the inside of that hole is about level with the bell housing. I mean, level with the engine block mount there. So let's see. That's 6 1/4. The thickness of the bell housing is 6 1/4. So let's see if we can, 6 1/4 meets right to this not straight, uneven socket holder. So we got about 6 1/2 or 6 3/4. It's hard to say because this is not flat. It's hard to tell. It might be 6 1/4. Actually, I think it is. So yeah, you know what? I think we're good. I think it'll bolt right in. I think it's the right length. I thought I had to cut 1/4 inch off the input shaft for this dude. But you know what? I think we're good. We just leak tested the trans. It's not leaking. So now we got to get this stupid pilot out and get our new one in. Alright, back for another round. This action-packed extravaganza of blown up parts. So, we got our rentals scattered all over the yard. So, we tried the old bread trick. And she failed me. So we got our slide hammer, our pilot bearing puller deal. I had to rent this stuff. I gotta get this, take this back. If I get my pilot out. Get my money back. get the Pilot installer, get my money back from that, and then get the clutch alignment tool, because I don't have a clutch alignment Ford clutch disc aligner thingy. So I have to like rent 3 or 4 times. And I have a week before the toy show, and I need that rent money for the damn toy show. So let's get cracking. So the old bread trick did not work. It smelled great though. It smelled like there was a bakery in my flywheel. So now we got this whole slide hammer deal. We're gonna screw this sucker on, and we're gonna violently beat. Let me tell you, I got a whole camera crew working on this production. Alright. Do we need to get violent? It's bottomed out. Well, it's heavy. Alright. And there we go. She's a-coming! She's a-coming! Oh, and we lost it. I hope we didn't break the threads off. Go, 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 get in there, don't fail. That was weird. The slide hammer is supposed to pull the pilot bearing out, not pull the whole damn tool out. Alright, or not pull the threads out. Let's really work this sucker in there. Well, this tool works pretty good. They said if I never bring it back, I could just keep it. And this is a pretty handy dandy tool. But I need toy show money, and I need to get a clutch, so screw it. It's coming. We're still beating. Almost out. Okay, here we go. Right about yonder. Almost there. Let's see if we can hit the camera. Nope, didn't hit the camera. Alright. Pilot out. We're one step closer. Getting this T18 in here. Now we got to do some measuring, get the new Pilot in, and we got to get this tranny over here. I got to get another dude over here because the tranny itself without the transfer case is 200 pounds. And dude, there's no way I'm going to bench press that under this Jeep up there. I'm going to have to figure out. I'm thinking of stacking logs and a cross member in here and then balancing it on that, but the tranny is like really tall. It's going to hang well below. It's going to bolt to the motor and it's going to hang well below this exhaust. It's a huge tranny. So I'm thinking I might have to get a body lift or cut this out. I think I might have to cut a bunch of this floor out. We'll see. We'll see. Alright, I don't know if you can see it, but that's too dark to see, but inside there, when you see a perfect square, that means all the shift rails are lined up for neutral. You only want to take this thing out in neutral, because if you take it out in a gear, you'll never get it back on. So you can kind of almost see. I wish I had a flashlight nearby. Anyway, let's take this puppy off and see if we can reseal it and then just do a quick inspection. Wow. Okay, cover's off. That is absolutely brand new. Wow. That is awesome. Wow. Yeah, those are brand new. That's brand new synchro. There's not even any marks on that. Wow. That's awesome. Alright, we got a brand new 4-speed here to deal with. Alright, let's slap a gasket on this turd and get it over to the Jeep. Alrighty then, hacking and grinding time. We got this. So, our T18 will not fit because of this stupid crossover pipe. I need to cut I either need to cut this crossover pipe off so the transmission can sit way down in there, or I just need to cut it off right here and build my own new exhaust. What I'm hoping to do is just cut it off here and then weld a patch over it, and that way I can save all this awesome exhaust that I got here. Because we got to save the open header cap. That's priority. That leaks, as you can clearly see. So, man, I don't know if I can get a Sawzall in there. I don't know if I should just cut it here. I got to do something though, because it's in the way. So let's get to that and figure out what the heck we're going to do here. Alright, how you call a goat brake? We dragged this big old massive 4-speed under the Jeep. I had to cut my passenger side exhaust off to get it in there, but this exhaust is absolutely hammered anyway. Hammered beyond hammered. I'm not running that again. This is going to the boneyard. I'm gonna sorely miss my end caps here. I may re-weld these to my new exhaust just to keep the spirit of this build alive. The build is lots of power, speed, awesome transmission, awesome rear axle, and crap everything else. That's pretty much this build. In case you're wondering what this is, this is a Summit crate engine, 330 horse Vortec heads. These are like $3,300 from Summit, which is actually a pretty good deal for, I mean, brand new. That's pretty friggin' awesome. And it comes with everything except an intake. So that's pretty badass. And it even has, if you look down here, it even has, you can run a mechanical pump off it too if you want. I run electric, of course, but it's handy. That's a great feature to have because I don't think the 98 blocks have that anymore. I think they did, like, what the TBI motors did. They had the swirl port heads. Was that 93, 94? I think it was 95 was the last year they had that cutout, that provision for the fuel pump right there. But it's cool that someone did that in case you want to go old school, you know. But anyway, 330 horse motor, 750 quadrijet, and look, check out this mechanical choke. We got a RC pinion gear holding the end on, and just Ace Hardware crap, brackets, random springs, holding it all together. It works like a charm. I've had it like that for a year. It works awesome. Starts up on the second or third turn of the engine, so it looks like crap, but it friggin' works awesome. Anyway, so let's keep going. So we're gonna take a goat brake. I got this little lantern. It's a light, and it plays a radio, so you can jam out in the garage. Pretty cool. Why am I giving you a tour of this crappy ass garage? All right, goats. Let's go see the ladies. Through the house. And here we go. Oh, don't forget my electrolyte water. My Legos. Hot Wheels. What's going on, guys? Oh! Here, get back, sweetheart. No, you'll break my glass. Okay. So we're going to take a goat brake. Working on the Jeep. Now, I have to go to the hardware store and get bolts. But because of the stupid virus thing, it's not safe to go get bolts. So now I got to figure out how I can get bolts from somebody and sterilize them or something. If I can find a buddy with a huge bucket of bolts and then can soak the bolts in engine cleaner or something and then wash them, I don't know, something. But the Jeep is almost done. I just need a bunch of bushings and bolts and rubber grommets. I gotta do a body lift, that big old monster T18 is hitting the top of the inside of the body, the tunnel, the trans tunnel. So, and I can't even get a shifter for my transfer case because everything's pushed up against the body. So I need to get stuff for that. We have to lengthen my clutch rod an inch. Then here I am thinking out loud. The guy put plugs in here, and it's got a huge Allen head hole. So I just filled the Allen head hole with the plumber's putty. So I want a nice flat surface all the way around when I put this adapter kit on. And what else? I hope the cross member transfer case mount's going to be, well, the adapter plate's going to be here, so the cross member has to go here, because the cross member bolts into the adapter plate. So it looks like the holes for my cross member are probably going to line up nicely. I think everything's going to line up. So my front, the transmission that came out of here, the broken 3-speed, that had an adapter plate here. But as you can see, this one bolts right to the trans. The adapter plate on the 3-speed was like this thick. It's huge. So the transmission was sitting back pretty far. So now that we did the swap, the transmission went forward a whole bunch. And this back end is about where the 3-speed used to sit, even though this is much longer. So not having an adapter between the trans and the bell housing really helps a lot. I mean, there's absolutely no room in here. I mean, there's the drive shaft, there's the transmission. There's no room. So I think it's going to work out perfect. It fits like a glove. I thought I was going to have to cut out the floor, but it looks like it's perfect. Right where the 3-speed was. This is probably going to go up a lot higher, because here's the bottom of the frame rail, and look how far down the tranny's sitting. This is an absolute beast of a 4-speed, and it takes up 3 times the room that T15 ever did. So we're just waiting for this rain to go away. What else can I tell you? Oh, we're going to use a caulking gun to use ultra gray, because there's no gasket that fits both these surfaces. You have to just Earl Grey it. Put Earl Grey tea bags on here to seal it. You have to use ultra gray. But I'm going to use a caulking gun, because a caulking gun will leave a nice, fat, solid bead. I tried just using a tube, and when you use a tube, it ends up just smearing all over the place, and it created a bunch of air pockets everywhere. So this just wasn't a good seal. And I think the caulking gun will make it quicker and easier and less messy too. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to leak test it. So let's get going on that. Alright, well, this day is pretty much shut. Raining like crazy. I got to get power tools out here and use a bunch of silicone, and that's not happening in this weather. So here's a problem we had. I cannot get this thing to seal, because right here there's a big stupid hole here. When you put the adapter plate on, the adapter plate only covers half the hole, and so there's no way that's going to seal. So what I did was I used Otay Fix-It Stick, which is a plumber's putty that hardens rock hard, and it's designed to plug holes where things are trying to leak out. So I put some of that in there. I've been using this stuff for decades. I used it on my Jeep radiators when they leak, and they seal up radiators awesome. Just put it on the outside of the core. You know, just press it in on the side of the core between the fins, it seals it right up. So, and I bring that on with me on the trail in case I have to fix a radiator. Anyway, so there's a hole there, big gaping hole here where the adapter plate goes over. So all I got to do now is grind it flat and sand it. All right, so we got this setting. We got our bump and lantern radio up and ready to go. We got our T18 ready to go and setting with the goop. Hopefully we won't need to use the lantern tonight. I do not want to be out here in the rain at night, freezing, trying to get this thing together. So we'll wait 15 minutes, let this stuff tack up, bolt it together, fill it with gear oil, and pray to the Jeep gods that this stupid thing will seal. And then we can put the transfer case on and do our cross member. Alright, well, let's see what happens here, guys. We'll let this set and we'll be right back. Alright, status update. Captain's log, what the heck ever. Transfer case ready to go on. Def Leppard on. So, we did a 2-day leak test. We're not leaking. There's no gasket in here. It's all silicone. So we're gonna put this in and hopefully do a start test. Make sure there's no noise. Make sure the clutch works. Make sure I didn't put the clutch disc in backwards. This is a absolute brutal amount of labor to pull this out again. I think if I ever had to do this again, I'd pull the engine out and leave the drivetrain in. I think that would actually be a lot easier. Alright, let's get to it. Alright, here we go. That's a goddamn handful. Yeah, that was about 65. Alright, let's check the speed out here. And there's a funnel under the crank pedal. Good. Pedal's good. Let's go around the turn here. Here we go. Seems to run pretty good. We're with the goats. That can only mean it's conclusion time as I try to eat my camera, literally. So we did our victory lap around the block. We got our T18 in. We got no gasket from the transfer case to the trans, or from the adapter kit to the trans, because it's all funky. We got no adapter kit to the Chevy V8 to the Ford transmission. We got home. There was gear oil everywhere. On top of that, so on top of all that nonsense, the cast iron adapter plate that holds the transfer case on, it would not go on flat. I took it off 4 or 5 times out in the yard, in the jagged rocks, in the heat, and bench pressing a huge 100-pound transfer case. It would not go on straight. The cast iron plate would not go flat against the Ford T18 casting. They wouldn't mate together. So the transfer case was being bolted on crooked. I couldn't shift the transfer case at all. It got real hot too when I went around the block. I probably didn't even go a mile. Well, I guess a block is a square mile. So I went a mile. And I put my hand on the transfer case and it burnt my hand. The transfer case shouldn't be that hot. So it's definitely on crooked, creating heat. Like I said, I had that thing off 4 or 5 times. I could not get it to seal. So you can't bolt a Jeep cast iron T18 metal plate to a Ford T18. You have to have the advanced adapter's aluminum plate to mate to the surface of the Ford T18. But the bell housing thing worked perfectly, so you can do that. Anyway, we'll see you on the next episode of Junkyard Jeep.